Welcome to The Bridge, Euronews's position here in the heart of European lawmaking in the European Parliament, where we bring you a nightly injection of everything that's going on here in Brussels. Now, today we've had EU foreign ministers meeting face-to-face for the first time since the coronavirus lockdowns, and they have had a lot on their plate. Firstly, one of the big issues, China. Take a listen to this report. The EU is working on a coordinated approach to China's new security law in Hong Kong. After a meeting of foreign ministers, Foreign Affairs Chief Joseph Borrell says it would include a mix of actions at EU and member state level. Details remain vague, but the diplomatic message is clear.
Our message in this context is twofold. First, to the people in Hong Kong, the support of the European Union for their autonomy and fundamental freedom. We will continue to stand by the people of Hong Kong. And to China, the message is that the recent actions change the rules. This will require revision of our approach and will clearly have an impact on our relations.
Sweden has joined France and Germany in calling for a stronger response to Beijing. Measures proposed by Paris and Berlin include extending the EU's export ban on items that could be used for torture or repressive policing, like rubber bullets, giving activists long-term refugee status in the EU, and allowing more Hong Kong students to study in Europe. Jack Parrock, Brussels. And the EU Foreign Policy Chief also called that national security law in Hong Kong very draconian. There was some quite strong language. Now, on top of the Hong Kong-China issue, there was also a lot of discussion about Turkey. That is decision to turn the Hagia Sophia mosque building back into a mosque. Also about drilling, Turkish drilling for oil in Cypriot waters and the threat that they might do it in Greece. Now, joining me here in the European Parliament to talk about this a little bit further is Swedish MEP Enver Insir, who is also of Turkish Kurdish origin, so connected to this region. What do you make of what the foreign ministers have been discussing? They're saying that there needs to be a coordinated response, that they will put together some measures. There was pressure from Greece and Cyprus to potentially sanction Turkey. Do you think the EU is doing enough?
First and foremost, thank you for having me. I think this is a very important topic, and it's also a topic that I would have seen EU act earlier on. So I would not say that it is too early to take any further measures, rather a bit too late. But nevertheless, I also do believe that EU hasn't taken enough measures, and we should take additional measures.
Let's break this down. What's your position on the Hagia Sophia mosque in Turkey's, well, the building that Turkey is deciding to turn back into a mosque?
I think it's regrettable what Erdogan is doing. What he's doing is just polarizing the society, and not only the society in Turkey, but also the region and globally. So the action to turn Hagia Sophia back to a mosque is actually hurting more than it's contributing to unity.
Joseph Borrell, talking now about the drilling, has said that the EU ministers have instructed him to look at a way of putting together some measures. He didn't say sanctions. Do you think there should be a preparation for sanctions list if they're drilling off the waters of Crete? Or is that a bit too far?
There have already been a few sanctions taken against people who contribute to the drillings or companies decided last year, but I do believe that we need to take further sanctions. First of all, we should look into, since 2016 there are no membership negotiations with Turkey in practice, but I do believe that we should officially look into to putting on ice or abolishing the membership, I would say, so that Erdogan is taking it seriously, because he doesn't understand any other language than hard language right now. So that's one thing. And then the other is, of course, the sanctions itself. I do believe that we should also look into officials who are contributing to advancement of these drillings in both Cypriot waters, but also most probably also in Greek waters.
You talked about hard language there. Do you think the EU has the scope, the unity, the ability to talk in that voice?
I do not, unfortunately, believe that there is a unity. unity to talk with that voice, because if it would have been a unity to talk with that voice, it would have been taken a long time ago. But nevertheless, I do believe that there is also time for EU to look into how we are taking decisions when it comes to foreign policy. Maybe qualified majority in some cases should be an option, which it is not right now.
A change to European politics forced by Turkey, though, that would be interesting.
It wouldn't necessarily be forced by Turkey, because I do believe that there are other areas also that we need to be able to have qualified majority to be able to stand up for our fundamental values.
Evin Sith, thank you so much for joining us here on the bridge in the European Parliament. It is a hot topic, and it will be discussed by EU foreign ministers and probably at a higher level with the leaders over the coming weeks and months. Stay with Euronews. After the break, there'll be plenty more with Oliver